Let's discuss the election outcome with Josh Lowe. He's a freelance journalist and covers European politics for Newsweek magazine. He joins me now from London. Good to speak to you, Josh. So we spoke just before the election. Looking at the results now, are you surprised or is this the outcome you were expecting?
I'm not exactly surprised because this is sort of broadly what the polls were saying. But at the same time, one of the big stories of this election has been the rise of the far right, the rise of Geert Wilders' PVV party. And so seeing that they underperformed what some were expecting, that they didn't do as well as they thought, is of course pretty noteworthy. And the Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, will certainly be very relieved.
And the Dutch race is being seen as a test of support for nationalist parties that have been gaining ground across Europe. Do you believe that, considering that this year France and Germany will also face elections, also can we really compare Wilders and his party to the far right in the other European countries, as his stance seem more extreme?
Well, every country is different, and the far right in every country is different. But one thing that is very interesting looking at this election result is that you've seen mainstream parties succeed who were willing to take on some of the anti-immigration messages of the far right. So both Mark Rutte's party and the CDA, which came third, which is a centre-right party, both took on some of the anti-migrant rhetoric and some of those concerns from the far right. So in France and Germany, it'll be interesting to watch if the mainstream parties there try and do the same thing. And particularly in Germany, you've seen Angela Merkel's party taking on some anti-immigrant rhetoric, and she may look at this result and think perhaps that's the way to go.
So did the diplomatic spat between Turkey and the Netherlands impact the elections? Did it help Rutte?
It's always important to be a little bit careful about how much daily news events affect elections, which are often about slightly deeper issues for voters. But that said, it certainly seems that voters liked the kind of moderate path that Rutte trod on this. He was firm, he sort of stood firm against some of what the Turkish government was saying. At the same time, he was careful not to escalate the situation too fast, which is what Wilders wanted to do. And it seems as if voters did like that kind of middle way that he trod on this issue.
And what will a coalition look like? You have several left-leaning parties that did well. How will they shape the coalition?
We'll have to see what happens, but one party that may be particularly powerful is the centrist Progressive Liberals D66, who came joint third in the election. They will probably hold some power in a coalition, and their foreign affairs spokesman told me just the other day that they would insist on any coalition government they were part of being a government for all Dutch people, whatever colour, creed, race, whatever it is that you are. Let's see if they stand firm on that, because that could be one way to resist some of the rightward drift of Dutch politics in the coming months.